Hey guys, Ryan here from Fight Club. We're going to be sending out some newsletter emails to all you who are in the Fight Clubs with varying degrees of content. Some is going to be encouragement, some correction, some will be funny, some will be stories from you and your friends from the Fight Clubs about really what God's doing. And we're going to do a lot of different things, but all of them are going to conclude and really help us to become heroes to our family, leaders of our place of influence, and forceful men of God advancing God's kingdom. So if you have some cool stories, please send them in. We would love to let everyone know what God's up to, what He's doing through the Fight Clubs and through the individuals' lives that are involved. Or if you know of someone who is not getting the emails right now and you want to make sure that they are in, you can also do that by letting us know as well. I just want to let you guys know currently, right now, we have 8 separate groups that are happening for 8 separate fight clubs going on, from week to week, month to month, and we're around 80 people doing actively inside fight clubs. So man, that's super exciting. Jesus changed the world with 12, so we're hoping to change Moore County with 80 men. so that's definitely our prayer. I want to share something with you that, in hopes that it will be you sharing something with me in the long run. And I want to talk about friends. I want to talk about relationships. Now, before you cringe and move away, I know that's not a normal topic for a men's ministry email, especially one that's called Fight Club. But let's face it, man, you and I all want good, godly, solid relationships among men, or else you and I wouldn't be involved in a fight club. Even if we're just watching football, we want good relationships, but hopefully that's not all we do is watch football. But nonetheless, one of the things that I want to talk about is just the idea of us facing the trend that's happening in our community right now of relationships that are becoming more isolated than ever. I mean, I don't think it takes a brain surgeon to figure out that social media has increased, but the connections to others have actually decreased. I mean, look at the suicide rates right now. Those are those are higher right now than ever, but supposedly we are more connected than we ever have been. Now, something with that statistic is definitely wrong. There's more isolation, but supposedly there's more connection. Both of those just don't really match up, if you ask me. So I want to talk to you about specifically about these relationships that we have been talking about, I think, for quite some time amongst the fight clubs. I want to talk about one specific example, and that is interruptions. I want to talk about interruptions in our schedule, interruptions in our lives. We all need interruptions, but right now we either don't have time for them or we're not making time for them. Now, here's how I believe that interruptions can change our lives for the better forever. We need these interruptions in our lives. And one of the examples I want to give you is look at what happened with Jesus. I mean, you have Peter and Andrew sitting on the side fishing with their father and a bunch of other guys doing the daily business in which they were accustomed to do. But who interrupted them? Jesus. Jesus interrupted them by inviting them to a life that they really didn't know about, but it changed their lives forever. Now, you can talk to people that do or don't know the Bible, and you can know that they actually have an idea of what happened with Moses in the burning bush. That was, for Moses, an interruption from God. Everyone knows about that story. And interruptions for our lives are sometimes crazy, like Noah building an ark. I mean, a lot of people would think, man, that is crazy. But that was an interruption from God to Noah to change the course of mankind. And you and I need those same interruptions. Now, Proverbs talks about interruptions quite often. I like one of the things that it says, rescue. This is in reference to men. We need to rescue those being led away to death and holding those back who are staggering towards slaughter. Now, the word rescue actually comes up a few times, but if you think about that, that's an interruption. Now, an interruption for you and I is when we're in relationships with other men and we see them being led away to death, maybe depression or hopelessness or whatever the case may be, or they are being held away by staggering onto what Proverbs says is staggering to slaughter. And the thing is, for you and I, we need to interrupt our friends, our men's lives that are in Fight Club together so that we can help in any way, shape, or form. And for you and I think one of the ways that we can best do that is just by listening. Just like James says, we should be quick to listen and slow to speak. This life is not about us. Listening to men around you and really what they are sharing, because the weakness or the prayer request or the story about their family or their wives may just have a deeper meaning to what they're really exposing. And if we listen to the men around us and what they're really truly sharing with us, I think that a cry for help is really what some of the guys in your group are really looking for. And this could be, I mean, think about it, this could be some of the toughest times that people are going through, and all they're asking for is help indirectly. Now, why we don't ask for help just directly is because of, wait for it, pride. Yes, there is pride inside of men's groups, inside of fight clubs. Unfortunately, there is pride lurking around in your hearts, and it's just there, unfortunately, way too much. But imagine that. But I also love what Proverbs says about this. He says, "A friend loves at all times, but a brother is born for adversity." So for you and I, you need to know when we are going through hard times, when life really gets rough, then we don't have to identify the brothers that are going to be in our lives, because they're going to be there. They're going to stand firm. They're going to be right by our side. Those men in the fight clubs that are really going to expose themselves to be available to us are going to be the ones through when we go through hard times. They're going to be right there with us. They're going to move away. They're not going to scurry. They're not going to shy away from getting involved in our lives, and they're not going to stop when an interruption is needed. Because through adversity, men of God who are brothers will be there right with us. I love, I was reading through a book. I love what Gabe Lyons has to say about community. He says this: "We seldom interfere in one another's lives. We don't have time, or maybe we just don't have enough compassion. We don't care enough. Instead, we hustle between work, between friends, between recreation, school, and church. We relocate frequently and no longer have time to spend with each other." So I'm asking you, I'm challenging you, because it is a challenge in which that is not easy, nor is it going to happen by accident. I'm challenging you as men inside the fight clubs to be available to the other men and to interrupt their lives. Like Galatians 6 says, "You who are spiritual, you who are a man of God, restore one another gently." And I think that gently is with a heart of respect and humility for the guys that we have around us. This fight club for the next year for you and I can be absolutely monumental. And I think can be life-changing. And just what I said at the very beginning, I think that if Jesus took 12 and he changed the world, that you and I can take the 80 men that we have, the 8 groups that we have, and change the climate of Moore County by leading it, so that we can actually become heroes to our family, leaders in our place of influence, and forceful men fighting to advance God's kingdom. Because you and I both know this nation needs men of God leading the way. So here's what I'm asking of you. I wanted to share something with you, and I want you to share something with me. Here's what it is. I want you to talk about, give me some ideas, give me some thoughts, give me some questions about your perspective of community, where we can improve on it within the realm of Fight Club, or not even being limited to that. What are your ideas on Fight Club? What are your hesitations? What are your fears? What are some strengths? What are your hopes when it comes to expectations with community or relationships? Whatever it is, I want to hear back from you. I want to know what it is that you're thinking about. I want to know what it is that you're wrestling with. So email me those, contact me, text me, do whatever. I'd love to know. Until then, we will talk to you soon.